Hi students, it's your teacher from Crack Mentors. So, what we are gonna do today, we are gonna understand the very important topic which is ruling motion on inclined surface. Okay, we have to do some questions regarding it, and it is being the very important topic from the point of view J means examination and from the point of view as well as J advanced examination also. Okay, so what is ruling motion on inclined surface that we are talking about? Uh, in this ruling motion on inclined surface, we have to calculate some things. And what are those? First of all, we have to calculate the acceleration of the body at any instant when it is rolling, and we have to calculate the velocity at any instant when it is rolling. Okay, uh, and can be said as that we are gonna find out the final velocity as well. If we are able to find out the velocity at any point, then we are also able to find out the final velocity of the body, which we will see. Okay, now there is a something that I'm gonna explain you right now. And what is that? This is being ruling motion, and afterwards, we are gonna see the pure ruling motion as well. Why I'm explaining this? Because these are the basics of the ruling motion on inclined surface. When you know what is ruling motion and what is the pure ruling motion, then you are able to understand how the ruling motion on inclined surface work actually. Okay, it is being the base of the building, and if the base is gonna strong, then the building is also gonna be very very strong. Okay, now let us talk about the thing. As we can see, what is ruling motion? Ruling motion is nothing but it is a combination of rotational motion and as well as translational motion, as I am writing right here. Okay, what is translational motion? If we have any body which is rigid, okay, and if that body is moving with some velocity vc, let's suppose. What is this vc? Vc is the velocity of a point of center of mass. Okay, then uh, if then any kind of a rigid body must possess the same velocity at all points as of vc. Means I am trying to explain that if a rigid body is moving with some velocity vc, and what is this vc? Vc is the point of center of mass velocity. Then each and every particle which is present on this body must have same velocity vc, as I have write it above here. Okay, as I have written over here. Okay, now let us talk about what is rotational motion. Motion is nothing but when a body rotates about a fixed axis, which is called as axis of rotation, then it is called as rotational motion. I have drawn what is axis of rotation. This axis of rotation is in z plane, okay, and the body is moving in x axis, xy plane, and the body is moving in xy plane. So now let us talk about what is rotational motion actually. Okay, in rotational motion, what we know, in rotational motion there are some things that we know. What is that? Rotational motion has two velocity. What kind of velocity? It has, first of all, angular velocity, which is also represented by omega, and uh, and in accordance of omega in accordance of omega, it also possesses the translation velocity. The tangential velocity, as I've drawn above here. Okay, then what is the tangential velocity? As you can see by the arrows of red in the rotational motion, the tangential velocity is nothing but it is omega cross r. It is omega cross r. Okay, so uh, let me make you understand. Just give me time to make the correct diagram for you. Okay, now I have drawn right here. Okay, it is a now I am talking about the tangential velocity. Let's suppose if we have a body and which has radius r, and it is moving with some angular velocity omega, as you can see right here. Okay, then what is the tangential velocity each and every particle must possess in this body? Okay, then the tangential velocity is nothing but it is going to be omega cross small r, and both of these are vectors as well. Okay, what is r vector? Right now, as we can see, r vector is nothing but the small r vector is nothing but it is a position vector from point of axis of rotation, or can be said as from axis of rotation to point where the tangential velocity need to be calculated. Okay, where tangential velocity need to be calculated to point of to point where it is to calculated. Okay, I am hoping that you are getting my point. Then what is the tangential velocity? As we can see, it is nothing but it is omega cross r. And what is the axis of rotation? Axis of rotation is lying in the z plane. Then it is omega cross capital R vector. Okay, omega cross capital R vector. Okay, now when this cross is gonna remove, then we will see that it is nothing but it is equals to omega r. How? If we remove the cross sign, then it is nothing but it is omega magnitude r magnitude and the angle between omega and r. As we can see, r is in the xy plane and the omega direction is in the z plane. Then the angle between them is 90 degree. I am hoping that you know this much basics as well. Okay, now I have drawn three velocities. I have drawn three velocities, tangential velocity, and this is the last one that I am drawing. Okay, yes. V is equals to omega r. The each and every particle in the tangential direction, each and every particle must possess the velocity which is equal to omega r. This is being the properly rotational motion. Sir, we have understood both the translation motion and rotational motion, but there is no sign of a rolling motion. Okay. So what is the rolling motion? Rolling motion is nothing but it is being the combination of both. It is being the combination of both. Let us assume that we have a body like present like here. Okay, and and this is being the axis of rotation, and I'm gonna mark some points. Just give me a sec. Okay, just give me a time. And I'm assuming this blue body which I have drawn right now, it is moving with VC. Okay, right now I'm talking. Right now I'm marking some points, and what are those? A, B, another point which is C, and here we have another point which is D. Okay, I'm gonna talk about all these points step by step. Okay, now as we can see, this is the thing of the translation motion. Right now I'm writing that point A. I'm talking about point A. Point A is nothing but it is the point of contact. It is the point of contact between the surface and the ruling body, as we can see. Okay, now this is the point A that we are talking about. Just choose me different color. Just let me different color to choose. Okay, yes. Now just give me a time. Okay, now this is being the velocity which is equals to VC, as we know, because each and every point of the rigid body must have same velocity as of center of mass velocity. Okay, now it is equals to VC, which I have marked with yellow color, and let me choose different color as well. Now I have choose a different color which is white, and there is a velocity which is equals to omega r, which is equals to omega r. Okay, this is the simple thing. This is the simplest thing. This is the simplest thing of rolling motion, that it is the combination of both. Just overlap the velocities and each and every characteristics of translation motion and rotational motion into the one thing. Then we gonna get the rolling motion. I am now writing for the point B. It is done. Okay, now let us talk about point C. Point C has a velocity. Point C, let me choose a different color. Okay, why it is not choosing right now? Sometimes my software do not respond as I wanted. Okay, now this is being VC. Color is not basically changed. Oh, okay, that's right. Okay, let's suppose this is VC. This is VC, and now another we have, it is omega r. This is V is equals to omega r, and for the with the yellow color I am marking right here, it is equals to VC. Okay, and about last point which we have, about D point we have a velocity of VC, and we have another velocity. Let me choose different color, white color. Then we have another velocity which is equals to omega r. Okay, I am assuming that you are getting my point. Now let me highlight it. Okay, now I'm making some sort of a clouds around here. Okay, this is being the properly rolling motion as we are able to see it. Okay, I'm hoping that you have understand each and every point correctly. Okay, and if you don't, then you can ask the doubt during this time. Okay, I'm gonna explain it as well. now let us talk about, okay, this is the thing that is being clear to us. If this is the thing that is clear to us, then let us move on a different topic. And what is that? Condition for pure ruling. Now, what we have understood before, we have understood that it was the ruling motion that we have discussed about. Okay, now we are discussing about pure ruling motion. Sir, what is pure ruling motion? Pure ruling motion is nothing but it is being also very simple. Okay, let me choose a slide regarding it. Okay, we have done. Okay, so what is pure ruling motion? As we can see, there is a statement which I have mentioned about purely ruling, or can be said as pure ruling. Both are same thing. Now, just give me a just give me some time. Okay, now I'm talking about the point A. What is this point A? Point A is the point which is inside the body, and what is point B or point E? Point E is the point which is outside of the body. Which body? Ruling body. And point E is present at the ground surface, or can be said as horizontal surface, as we can see. And they are very nearly same. They are very nearly same. Okay, this is the thing. They are very close, and I am assuming there is another point. Just let me take another color. Okay, I am assuming there is a point M, which is exactly the point of contact which is present between them. Okay, if I am talking about point M, if I am talking about point M, then point M is nothing but it is the point of contact. It is the point of contact, and point of contact uh, point of contact must be at rest. Point of contact must be at rest. This is the condition which I am talking about. This is the condition for the pure ruling which I am talking about. The pure ruling is nothing but it is the when point of contact is at rest. The point of contact is at rest in relative to, or can be said as respect to, the surface on which it is ruling. The surface on which it is rolling. Okay, I mentioned a very clear statement right here, and it is being very easy. Okay, now what I am trying to convey right now, as we can see, this is our surface. Okay, this is our surface, and here we have a body. Here we have a body, and there is a point M which is connected to this, and as well as it is also called as point of contact. I am trying to convey that if we have a surface, let me choose another color. Okay, the red color will be suitable for this part. I am taking red color. Okay, now in relative to or respect to, the point of contact is at rest. In relative to or respect to, with in respect to or in relative to ground, the point of contact must be at rest. This is the condition for the pure ruling. Okay, uh, right now basically I am trying to talk about relative velocity. What is relative velocity? Relative velocity of a point of contact with respect to ground must be zero. This is the condition for the pure ruling, as I mentioned about here. I've this is I have mentioned one more thing, and what is that? The velocity uh, mg vector is equal to 0, and velocity ae vector is equal to 0. These both are being the same thing. These both are being the same thing. Okay, now let me explain you with a simulation. Now let me explain you with a proper simulation regarding it. Okay, just give me some time. Okay, now I'm showing you properly a simulation. Okay, this is the simulation that you can access also. This what is the name of this simulation? The name of this simulation is nothing but it is a pure ruling motion. Okay, you can access it as well. Okay, this is the pure ruling motion, as we can see. But we are observing right now, as you can see, this is the ruling motion. Okay, but we are observing right now the body is moving translational. The body is moving in translational motion and also performing the rotational motion both simultaneously. Okay, now there are multiple options, as you can see: show velocity component due to axial moment, show velocity component due to rotation, and show resultant velocity vector. I have selected one of them, and which one I have selected? I have selected show velocity component due to axial movement. What is this axial movement? Axial movement is nothing but it is the translational motion. As we are able to see that the translational vector is always in the direction of horizontal. Basically, the translational vector is always directed in x I cap direction. Okay, and now I have selected the option for the velocity component due to rotation. Velocity component due to rotation. Okay, and as we are able to see that how the rotation vector is working, and the another thing that we are observing right now, what is that? The resultant vector of both of them, the resultant vector of both of them, as we are able to see, the resultant vector of both of them is being changing by because there is an angle between them which is keep changing, and as we are able to observe one more important thing, I have posed this I have a pose I have posed this basically simulation. The point of contact, as you can see, the red point has no resultant velocity. The point of contact has no resultant velocity, means when it can happen when the translational velocity and the rotational velocity, the tangential velocity due to rotation and the translation velocity both must be equal, then it is possible. Okay, and thus we are observing that here we have a rolling motion of a body. Okay, as we are able to observe that this is being the rolling motion of a body where the translation velocity and the tangential velocity due to rotation both are equal. Okay, and the resultant of them is equals to 0. Now we have observed what is the condition for the pure rolling, and this is the very important thing that we have understood. Okay, now I am explaining it, uh, how we can write vmg vector, or vae vector. It can be written as that the velocity of a vector minus, just let me put it right here, velocity of a vector minus velocity of e vector is equals to 0. And if they are is equals to 0, this is being the condition as we have observed, then the velocity of a and the velocity of e must be equal. The velocity of a, just give me some time. Oh, this is not working quite well. Okay, now the velocity of a and the velocity of e both must be equal. Okay, now this is being the condition for the pure rolling, as we are able to observe. So I am assuming that you are getting my point. Odd. And what is the velocity of a vector? It is nothing but it is vi cap minus omega r I cap. And what is the velocity of e vector? If I am assuming that the ground is at rest, the surface is at rest, then the velocity of e vector is nothing but 0. And after solving this equation, what we are gonna get? We are gonna get the velocity is equals to omega r. The velocity, which is the velocity of a point of center of mass, is equals to omega r. This is the observable thing that we have. Observed in this condition, and this is being the very most important condition for pure rolling. If the surface is at rest, when surface is at rest, when the surface is at rest, the velocity is nothing but it is equals to omega r. I'm hoping that you are getting my each and every point very correctly. Okay, and if there is another kind of if there is some sort of a doubt, then you can ask me as well. Okay, as you can see, in everywhere there is something mentioned which is relative to surface, and related to surface. Okay, and I have discussed about relative velocity. And if you don't know the concept of relative velocity, then you can ask me the doubt regarding it. Okay, I'm gonna explain it as well. Okay, now the most important thing we have done, that we have done. Sir, there is a doubt. And what is that? The doubt is being very simple. If the surface is moving, then how we are going to solve the condition of a pure rolling? Okay, and if the velocity is greater than omega r, then we are then how we are gonna solve it. I'm gonna cover both of things in this lecture, but later. Why? Because right now I'm into a flow. I'm into a flow where I'm teaching the things which are interconnected right now. And if I'm gonna put the different cases right here, so you are not gonna take interest as the rotational motion. Okay, so that's why I am first of all teaching this, and afterwards when the flow will be completed, I'm gonna explain it as well. Okay, now the rolling motion on inclined surface. Now let us talk about rolling motion on inclined surface. What do we have to solve in this thing? We have to solve the acceleration of the body, and the velocity of the body, which it may have at any height. Okay, I'm assuming that you are getting my each and every point very correctly. Okay, and if you are getting my point, then let me know about it as well. Okay, now I am marking some points. I am marking some points. Just give me some time. Uh, uh, I am marking some points. Okay, just give me some time. I am observing the slide. In this thing. Okay, each and everything is correctly. There is one more thing which I want to talk, but the rolling motion we are gonna solve right now, which is rolling motion on inclined surface, which is rolling motion on inclined surface. Just give me a time. Just give me a time. There is a one more important case which I need to mention. What if the velocity is greater than omega r, and what if the velocity is less than omega r? Then how we are gonna determine that? The condition of the pure rolling, how we are going to determine it. Okay, then there is another things as well. I'm going to explain it as well. Okay, now let me talk about a very important point as well before going the topic. We have observed that the condition for the pure rolling is nothing but it is v is equals to omega r. V is equals to omega r. Okay, and I'm going to talk it for acceleration as well. If we differentiate it both side, then we are going to get it. If we are going to differentiate both side, then the dv upon dt is nothing but it is the acceleration. It is the acceleration. I am assuming that this point has radius. This point has the rotational body has radius value which is equals to r. Sometimes it do not respond. Okay, yes. It has radius r, and the dv upon dt is nothing but it is equals to acceleration. Now we know the radius of the body is constant, so it is basically comes out from the differentiation part, and the d omega upon dt is nothing but it is equals to alpha. Okay, now but we have acceleration is equals to r alpha, or can be said as alpha r. Okay, this is the thing that we are talking about, and it also can be written as acceleration is equals to alpha cross r, because we know the velocity is equals to omega cross r, and the alpha is also going to be alpha. The acceleration, tangential acceleration, is also going to be alpha cross r, and this is also being the one of the most important condition for the pure rolling as well, that the translational acceleration and the tangential acceleration due to rotational motion both are equal for the pure rolling, as we can observe, as we can see. I am hoping that you know some basics regarding it. Okay, that's why I'm not explaining over much. Okay, but there is a clarity in my concept as well. Okay, now let us talk about the rolling motion on inclined surface. Let me solve the equations for acceleration and as well as for velocity. I am marking some points. Let me mark that point this is being the point A, and from this point there is a height of the plank that I am assuming. This is the height which is small h from the ground to the point which I have marked right now, Okay, and the uh, plank has a height which is equals to capital H. Sorry, the inclined surface has a height which is equals to capital H. Okay, now I am assuming that this is the point A, and this is the point B, which I am going to talk about. Okay, I am hoping that this is very much clear to you. Okay, now this is angle theta. If this is the angle theta, then this must be angle theta. Sir, why? Explain us. How is it being? Okay, so I'm gonna explain it. I'm gonna explain it as well. If this is the angle theta, then it is also going to be angle theta. Just give me some time to explain it. Mm, uh, just just wait a little longer. Okay, I should be explaining right over here. I should not messing the things up. Just let me copy this slide so that this slide do not go anywhere. Okay, now I have drawn a straight line, as you can see, red line. Okay, there is another red line that I have drawn, and I am drawing another line for your better understanding. And this is, as we are able to observe, the red line and the red line which is present at bottom, both are parallel. Okay, and there is another that we have that I have made. If this is angle theta, then this must be angle theta as well. Okay, how? Z, we know about it. And if it is theta, then it must be 90 minus theta, because they are making right angle. And if it is 90 minus theta, then this must be theta as well, because they are also making the right angle. Okay, I am hoping that you get this point. This is the very basic as well. Okay, now 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 let us talk about what is what is acceleration of the body. First of all, I am assuming there are some things, but what are those? Ruling object has mass is equals to small m or capital M, and the radius of the ruling object is nothing but it is equals to capital R. I am assuming these are the some basic things. Okay, let me know if it is clear to you or not. Okay, the radius is equals to capital R. Radius of object, ruling object, is nothing but it is equals to capital R. Okay, and and acceleration of the body, acceleration for a general body, general case, acceleration for a general case means, right now I'm going to solve acceleration for a general case means I'm going to talk about any kind of a body, if the rolling object, see, there are many objects that can roll. First of all, we have ring, another is disc, solid cylinder, hollow cylinder, uh, hollow sphere, solid sphere. There are multiple objects that are present which can roll. Okay, in accordance of that, I'm going to solve it for general case. I'm going to solve it for general case, so that we don't have to solve we don't have to solve it separately. We don't have to do derivation multiple times to solve the acceleration of the body for the different kind of body. I am generalizing a formula. Okay, now I am assuming that this is the rough inclined surface, and there are some things that I have marked, mg sin theta, mg cos theta, which are very basic normal reaction. Okay, and if it is the rough inclined surface, then here the blue vector, as you can see above there, it must be friction. Okay, there must be friction present as well. Okay, so now let's talk about the general case. We are discussing about the acceleration. Okay, so for generalizing the formula, there is a requirement of a moment of inertia. Okay, oh, there is a moment of inertia and as well as of radius of gyration. Now, what is radius of gyration? Radius of gyration is denoted by k, and what it is being, I'm going to explain you with the basically practical example, not by the definition. Okay, there is a specific reason regarding it. Sir, how we are gonna determine what is the moment of inertia value? Okay, let's suppose we have a ring, and we know the value of a ring. We know the moment of inertia value of the ring, and it is being mr square. If the mass of the ring is m, and radius of the ring r, then the moment of inertia value is mr square. Okay, then to find out the radius of gyration, we equate with a general moment of inertia, which is equals to mk square, and then we got the value k is equals to r. So what is this general moment of inertia that you are talking about, and what is this ik? Ik is the general moment of inertia by which we can generalize any kind of a body, and it help us to know the body by the k value, because if when the k value is equals to r, then we know that this is being the ring. Okay, and if the k value lies to the different values, then according to that specific value, we know the basically body type. Is it being ring, or is it being disc, or any kind of a body? Okay, so this is the very important thing to calculate. How we calculate the radius of gyration? We equate with our general moment of inertia, which is equals to mk square. We replace the radius r by k. Okay, that's how we get the value. Let's suppose how if we are finding the radius of gyration for the disk, then it is nothing but it is I is equals to half mr square, which is equals to the general moment of inertia, which is equals to mk square again. Okay, and after solving this, we got the value k is equals to r upon root 2. Okay, this is the very simple thing that you may are able to understand. Okay, now if I'm talking about the holosphere, just let me make a line to have an appropriate space. Okay, and I'm choosing the different color as well. Okay, now if I'm talking about holosphere, the moment of inertia of the holosphere is 2 by 3 mr square. Okay, and right now I'm equating with the general moment of inertia as well, right here as well, uh, by which it creates an impact, and get the and determine and help to determine the value of moment of inertia as well. Okay, just give me a time. I'm basically copying this slide. Okay, now it has been done. For the holosphere, the moment of inertia value is 2 upon 3 mr square. Okay, and I have equated with the 2 upon I've equated with general moment of inertia, which is equals to mk square. Okay, oh sorry, just give me a time. Mk square. Okay, now the k value is nothing but it is equals to under root 2 upon 3r. Okay, I am assuming the all body mass is equals to m, and the radius of the all body is capital R. Okay, now let us talk about solid sphere. Just give me some time to copy it. I am copying the slide right now. Okay, now okay, I am using the technology. Just give me some time. Okay, now if I'm talking about solid sphere, then for the solid sphere, the moment of inertia value, we know that it is equals to 2 upon 5 mr square. Okay, yes, and if I'll equate the value, if I'll equate the value with if I'll equate the value with mk square, then I'm gonna get the things. Okay, right now I'm writing here mass of every body is equals to capital M and radius is equals to r. Let me mention right there. Okay, yes. Now I'm equating with mk square with the different color. Okay, after solving this is the ik. Now after solving this, what we are gonna get, k is nothing but it is equals to 2 upon 5 under root r. Okay, okay. Now let us talk about hollow cylinder. For the hollow cylinder, moment of inertia value is the same as of ring. We know about it. Okay, it is equals to mr square. Then after solving this with I am equating with mk square. I have mentioned there that it is equals to ring. Okay, just give me some time. Okay, I have changed the color. Mk square. Now the k is nothing but it is equals to r, and it is same for ring. Okay, whenever there is a value k is equals to r, that means it can be ring or it can be hollow cylinder. Now let us talk about solid cylinder. Solid cylinder has moment of inertia half mr square. Okay, which is equivalent to disk. Okay, and let me change the color and put it to the mk square, and the k value is nothing but it is r upon root 2. Whenever there is a mention the value r upon root 2, that means whether it is disk or whether it is solid cylinder. Okay, I'm hoping that you are getting my point, each and every point very correctly. That's how we determine the radius of gyration. And I'm repeating one more thing, the ik which is the general moment of inertia, which we use to find the radius of gyration as well. Okay, and it is also being the general moment of inertia. Okay, now we have understood the each and every concept should be which should be known for the rolling motion part, for the rolling motion on inclined plane, and for the acceleration part as well. Okay, now how do we determine the acceleration for this? It is being very simple. by by I'm okay. Okay, just let me write it over right here. Okay, now for the acceleration, I have changed the color. Okay, general moment of inertia. If I'm talking about general moment of inertia, and for the finding the value of general acceleration, there is a requirement of general moment of inertia, which is mk square. Which is mk square. I'm hoping that you are getting my point. Why I'm taking mk square right over here? Because it gonna help me to get the general formula for the acceleration. If the k value is equals to r, then we know that the rolling body is nothing but, let me mention it correctly, uh, more accurately. Okay, just give me time. If the k value is equals to r, then the rolling body which we have, okay, rolling body which we have, it is equals to ring, or can be hollow cylinder as well. Can be hollow cylinder as well. Okay. Now let us talk about k is equals to, k, if the k, just wait a sec. If the k is nothing but it is equals to r upon root 2, then it can be disk, or can be solid cylinder. Solid cylinder. Okay. I'm hoping that you are getting my point. I'm hoping that you are getting my point. Now, if the k value is 2 upon 3 under root 2 upon 3r, under root under root 2 upon 3r, then we'll have, if the k is equal to under 2 upon 3r, then it means it is hollow sphere. And uh, if the k value is equals to under root 2 upon 5r, then it is solid sphere. Okay, I'm hoping that you are getting my point. I'm hoping that you are getting my point. If you are getting my point, so now let us talk about the different things. Okay, I'm hoping that it is visible to you. Let me do something. Okay, now it is correct. Now what is the acceleration of the body? If I'm talking about acceleration of body is nothing but how we are going to determine the acceleration of body. This is being the first of all very important thing. Acceleration of body can be determined by the equations that we know. How we know about the equations? Basically, to find the acceleration of the body, there is a requirement of laws of motion, basics, which are the basics, and we know how to make some equations for the to find the acceleration of any kind of a body. Okay, and right now there is a here is a requirement of that equation part. Okay, I am assuming that if the body has weight is equals to mg, and this is being the angle of inclination theta, and this is also angle of inclination theta. Okay, I am assuming that this is mg, then this must be mg sine theta. Okay, above I have mentioned normal direction. Okay, this must be mg sine theta. Okay, and this must be mg cos theta. Okay, I'm hoping that it's fine. And here we have a value of friction. Here we have a value of friction. Now let us talk about how we are going to make equations. Equations are being very simple. In the direction of acceleration force, minus opposite direction force. This is the thing that we know about. Okay, the force which is directed in the direction of acceleration minus the force which is opposite in the direction of acceleration is equals to mass into acceleration. This is the thing that we know. Okay, and with the another basics as well. Okay, mg sin theta minus friction is equals to mass into acceleration, and we know another thing, that normal direction is equals to mg cos theta. Normal direction is equals to mg cos theta. This is another thing that we know. I have marked with equation 2 and equation 1 and equation 2. Now there isn't any specifically mentioned in the both of equations. There is a thing that we have to solve, that is friction. How we are going to determine the value of friction? So there is another equation that we can make by the torque value. What is torque? Torque is basically I alpha and r cross f as well. Okay, so we are going with the equation of torque. We are going with the equation of torque, which is equals to I alpha. Okay, from where we are gonna find out the torque. Basically, we are gonna estimate the torque by the axis of rotation. Okay, axis of rotation is uh marked with yellow color at central. Okay, tau is equals to I alpha. I have written right here, and this is being the axis of rotation. About this axis of rotation, the value of torque will be taken. Okay, now what will be the value of torque? Of course, torque is equals to R cross F, and there are multiple. And by choosing this point, there is a one more thing. By choosing this point, because this point have all this point all this point having the all torque value 0 except friction. Okay, now I have mentioned the value of torque, which is equals to Fr, which is equals to mk square alpha. I am taking general moment of inertia as ik, and mk square alpha. Okay, why taking this, sir? Because the body can be general, that's fine. This is being the reason. Now what is the acceleration? What is the alpha of this body? Okay, what is the alpha of this body? Of course, this if this body is rolling down, that means it must have the alpha, which is the angular acceleration. Otherwise there would not be any kind of a rotational motion, and if there is no rotational motion, then there is no rolling motion as well. Okay, so what is alpha right now? uh, if I am talking about alpha, then alpha is nothing but, let me make it right here. Let me make the direction of alpha. This is being the direction of alpha, as you can see. Okay, and I'm assuming that it is falling down with initial velocity is equals to 0, and this is the direction of alpha. If it is alpha, then what we know about the pure ruling case? In accordance of pure ruling, the acceleration, the tangential acceleration, and the translational acceleration must be equal. What is the difference in both of them? Tangential acceleration is nothing but it is alpha r, and the translational acceleration is the acceleration of the center of mass of the body, and they must be equal for the pure ruling. We know about this. Okay, now if we put the alpha value, if we put the value of alpha in this, just let me show you if you do not remember it. uh, this is v is equal to omega r. By differentiating this, let me find that slide. Okay, let me find that slide. Mm, okay, I'm at different slide right now. Okay, this is being the slide. As we can see, acceleration is equal to alpha r. I have mentioned it about earlier. Okay, now this is being the condition for the pure ruling, and I'm gonna use it as well in the question. I'm hoping that there is no doubt in it, and no issue regarding it. Okay, now let us move on the part. Now let me just copy this slide. Okay, now the pure ruling, this is acceleration is equal to alpha r, and if I am finding the alpha, then what is the value of alpha right now? Alpha is nothing but it is acceleration upon r. This is the simple thing. Okay, acceleration upon r. By solving this, the friction value will have the value which is equals to mk square a upon r square. Mk square, just let me mention it. Friction value is nothing but it is mk square ma into k square upon r square. Okay, this is the value of friction that we are having. Okay, I'm hoping that it is very much visible. Okay, now this is the value of friction, and I am assuming this is being equation 3. Now we have 3 equations, and just give me a time to put to the different slide. uh just give me some time. Okay, I am copying the slide. Okay, it has been done. As you can see, we have a friction value, and I have copied this slide, so that's why I am removing the unnecessary part that we are having. Okay, just give me some time. Okay, now it's been done. Now I'm putting the value of friction over here. Just let me erase the equation 2 as well. Okay, now the friction is equals to ma. Oh, sorry, I have I've assumed capital mass in the friction value, or and as well as here as well. The mass is small m. Okay, sorry for this mistake. I'll correct it. Mg, and it is mhm. ma k square upon r square. Okay. Now let me mention over here ma k square upon r square. Okay. Now what is the full and final value that we are having right now? It is nothing but after solving this thing, mj sine theta is equals to ma plus ma k square upon r square. Okay. Now after solving this, mj sine theta is equals to just let me s- make it little side. Okay. mg sine theta is equals to ma plus I have taken ma as common, 1 plus k square upon r square. Okay. Now the acceleration. Now what is the acceleration after cancelling acceleration is nothing but it is, just let me mention over here with different color. Acceleration is nothing but it is g sine theta upon 1 plus k square upon r square. This is the simplest thing. This is the simplest equation that we get right now. Okay. I'm assuming that you are getting each and every point very correctly. Okay. This is being very easy. Very easy. Okay. Now, if I'm cleared, if I have cleared each and every point, so now let us move on the different part of velocity. Just I have made the square. Okay. I have made the box. Okay. Let me put a line over here as well. Okay. Now let us talk about the velocity. First of all, this is the value of acceleration. This is the formula for the acceleration that we know. Let me mention over here as well. Acceleration is nothing but it is g sine theta upon 1 plus k square upon r square. Okay. This is the acceleration that we are having. Now let us focus on velocity part as well. Just give me some time. Okay. Now let us focus on velocity part. Velocity of object at any height h. I am talking about any height h. Okay. Like here before I have mentioned the height was capital H of the inclined plane. Vertical height was capital height h of the inclined plane. But I am gonna solve with a small h. Okay. Okay. Now let me delete this part. Okay. Now this is the point B which I am talking about. This is the point B which I am talking about. What is the velocity? Velocity is nothing but we can solve it by two different methods. First of all, we have kinematics as our method, and another one is energy conservation. Which one would you like? You can go with. Okay. By energy conservation, I'm going with energy conservation as you have practiced a lot about kinematics, so you should be going by kinematics and match my answer correctly. Okay. Now I am going with energy conservation. So let us focus on this part. Sometimes it do not respond as I wanted. This is being so frustrated. Okay, now let us talk about energy conservation, which I am talking about. Energy conservation is nothing but it is initial energy, which is equals to final energy. Okay, now what is the initial energy of the body? Initial energy of the body. The what is the energy first of all? What is the total energy of the body? It is nothing but it is the sum of kinetic energy plus potential energy. Okay, so if I am talking about initial energy, then it is nothing but it is kinetic energy plus potential energy. Okay, so just let me copy some slides. Okay, copy. Okay, now let us move on a different part. Okay, what is initial energy? It is nothing but I have changed the color as well. Kinetic energy initial plus potential energy initial, which is equals to kinetic energy final plus potential energy final. Now, what is the initial kinetic energy that we are having? Kinetic energy initial is nothing but if it is moving with initial velocity 0, I have assumed it. There is no requirement, or there is no mandatory requirement that it would be 0. It can be anything else as well. So go by with basics, means by go by energy conservation and get your proper answer. Okay. And there is something I want to mention about potential energy. We know that potential energy is reference dependent. Okay, potential energy is reference dependent, and I'm drawing a potential energy reference line, uh, which is uh, which is on the bottom of the inclined plane. Okay, by drawing there, why not, and why not on any other point? Because of the calculation, because for the calculation easier. Okay, you can go with any other, you can go with any other reference line. Okay, now let us focus on what is the initial potential energy that we are having. Okay, there is an important thing that I want to mention, and what is that? I have assumed the point A, and I have assumed the point A, and from the bottom of the from bottom of the surface to point A, I have assumed the height small h. Okay, and the initial potential energy is being mgh. There is m- one question which I want to ask: why I have not taken mgh from the center of mass point? This is being the question, which is your homework. Why I have taken this point A? Why not this center of mass? This is your question. And if I'll take center of mass point, and if I'll take a point A, then the answer will be same or not. I want to know about this. This is being your homework, and I want this answer. I want to, basically, you need to think on this part. And when we will gonna meet in the next class, I'm gonna ask you this question, and if you know, then tell me. Otherwise, I'm gonna explain it. Okay, but think about this part. Okay, this is your homework. Now now let us talk about final potential energy. What is final potential energy? It is being 0. Why? Because body reached to the ground, and the height of the basically there is no height. Okay, it reached to the reference line. It reached to the reference line, and at reference line the value of potential energy is equal to 0. Now, what is the kinetic energy of the body? As we can see, the kinetic energy is not just of the body, which is basically performing a translational motion. This body is performing ruling motion, which have both kind of a motion, but both kind of a motion, ruling motion and as well as translational motion. So the kinetic energy of this body will have the both kinetic energy of translational plus kinetic energy rotational. Now, what is the kinetic energy translational? It is half mvc square, where vc is the velocity of center of mass point to the square, plus kinetic energy rotation. It is equals to plus half ICOM omega square. Okay, the moment of inertia of the center of mass into the omega square. I am assuming that it is moving with some omega. Okay, I am assuming that afterwards, when it reaches the point, B, it is moving with some omega. Okay, so now half mvc square plus ic half ICOM square. Okay, let me copy this one for the better understanding. Okay. Now about this point, just give me some time. About this point, it must have attained some velocity, and it is equal to plus half mv square, and as well as it must have some omega. Okay, what is the center of mass of moment of, what is the moment of inertia of center of mass? It is nothing but it is equal to mk square into omega. Okay, after omega square, after solving this, what we are gonna observe? After solving this, what we are gonna observe? Just give me some time. Okay, we are gonna observe the very important thing. Let me mention over here. Mgh is nothing but it is, I'm taking half m as a common part, and b square plus omega square k square. Okay, now after cancelling them, we got the velocity as under root Okay, it is equals to 2gh is equals to v square plus, I'm solving it very with basics. Okay, if it is pure ruling, of course there is a mention, of course this is being pure ruling condition. Okay, because we are solving each and everything for pure ruling. So if it is in pure ruling, then v must be equals to omega r. Okay, v must be equals to omega r. Then I can replace omega by v, omega by v upon r. Okay, okay. Then after solving this, after solving this, what we are having, the velocity is nothing but, the velocity is nothing but, velocity of object is nothing but, it is under root 2gh. Okay, go with some more basics. V square plus into 1 plus k square upon r square. Now the velocity is nothing but, it is under root 2gh upon 1 plus 1 plus k square upon r square. Okay, this is the velocity that we are having right now. Okay, okay. I am making our box. It is being the very important formula as well. Above formula of the acceleration and below formula for the velocity, both are important, and velocity formula consists of general height h, small h. Okay, and here we have a moment of inertia value as well. Here we have moment of inertia as well. Okay, sorry, I am saying wrong. Here we have radius of gyration as well. Okay, now let us talk to the different part. Okay, that's how we determine the velocity of any object. I am hoping that you are getting my point. Now we have so many questions, so let's get started with those questions. First of all, there are some questions which I want to mention. A homogeneous solid cylindrical roller of radius r. This is being the JEE 2019 question. You can check it as well. Okay, a homogeneous solid cylinder roller of radius r and mass m is pulled on a cricket pitch by a horizontal force. Assuming rolling without slipping, angular acceleration of the cylinder is. Okay, but he what this question is basically asking, let us assume this is being the surface, and as we know, the cricket pitch is of rough nature. Okay, and here we have a cylindrical roller which is rotating about this axis, of course, and it has radius r. Okay, a horizontal force, assuming rolling without slipping, there should be something more mentioned regarding it, but okay, that's not being an issue. Okay, uh, if there isn't mentioned about that where is the horizontal force is applied, so basically we can assume it is applied at this point. The force is F. Okay, what is the angular acceleration of the cylinder? It is being the question that is asked to us. Let us assume it is moving with some acceleration alpha. Okay, let us assume it is being moving with some acceleration alpha, then, and if it is moving with force F. Okay, and it has mass m, it has mass m. Now the very important thing which I'm kept repeating about rolling without slipping. What was the condition for the rolling without slipping? The point of contact which has some acceleration, due to this force, and there is a one more acceleration regarding it, and which is, just give me a sec, which is in the which is in this direction. In which direction? In this direction. Okay, and what it is alpha r. They must be equal, they must be equal. Okay, and how we can forget if the surface is rough, then there must be some sort of a friction which must apply to this body in this direction as well. Okay, so acceleration must hold to this. Acceleration must be equals to alpha r. Okay, now let us talk about something. What is that? If we want to find out what is the angular acceleration of the cylinder, and there was some sort of a option also mentioned regarding it. I didn't mention all of them options. what are those options? uh, just we can solve it for general way, by the way, but I don't remember the option right now, so just to solve it generally. Acceleration is equal to alpha r. Okay, then it can be written as F minus friction is equals to mass into acceleration, as we have understood before, and I'm not gonna repeat the same mistake again. F minus F m acceleration. Okay, and what is a torque? Torque due to this point, there is a torque acting on this point, and what is it is equals to I alpha. Okay, and what is a torque? There is a something that is mentioned about it, that it is being a solid homogeneous solid cylindrical roller. Okay, then first of all, what is going to be torque? Torque is nothing but it is going to be friction into r. And what is the moment of inertia of this? It is going to be solid cylinder. For solid cylinder, if the axis of rotation is like this, then the moment of inertia is going to be half mr square. Half mr square. Basically, I'm hoping that you are getting my point. How moment of inertia can be written like this. Okay, the axis of rotation is in the z-axis, as you can see about this point. Okay, and it is moving in xy plane. That is why I have written half mr square into alpha. Now what is alpha? Alpha is nothing but it is a upon r, acceleration upon r. So what is going to be the friction then? What is going to be the friction then? R2 are gonna cancel out, R2 are gonna cancel out. Then the friction has its value, which is equals to m m upon 2 a. Okay, and after solving it, what we are gonna get? We are gonna get force is nothing but it is equals to 3 upon 2 m a. Okay, and what was asked, there is a force mentioned about it, there is a radius mentioned, there is a mass mentioned, but the angular acceleration was not mentioned. Okay, so and we have to solve it for angular acceleration. Then it can be written as 2f upon 3m, which is written as acceleration, and acceleration can be written as alpha r. Okay, and the acceleration can be written as alpha r. Let me mention it, alpha r. Okay, then the alpha is going to be 2f upon 3 m r. This is being the question. I'm hoping that you have done it correctly, or if you don't, then observe where you have done the mistake regarding it. Okay, now let us talk about different question. What is this question? A string is wounded around a hollow cylinders of radius of mass 5 kg and radius 0.5 meter. And a string is wound around a hollow cylinder of mass 5 kg and radius 0.5 meter. If the string is now pulled with a horizontal force of 40 Newton, as you can see in the diagram, the sound you can notice right now is basically of my parrot. Okay, so ignore that sound. Okay, now a horizontal force of 40 Newton and the cylinder is rolling without slipping on a horizontal surface. See figure. Then the angular acceleration of the cylinder will be neglect the mass and thickness of the string. Read more on string would this is being the simple thing. Okay, now let us make the diagram. What he is basically trying to explain. Let us make the diagram. Okay, this is being the diagram. Okay, this is being the thing. Here we have center of mass point. Okay, okay, there is a force applied on this point, there is a force that is applied on this point, and there is a force applied on this point, and which is being 40 Newton. Okay, and it is also moving with some alpha. I am assuming that it is moving with some alpha, and of course it is being, there is a mention about it that there is an angular acceleration of the cylinder as well, and there is a friction acting on this point. There is a friction which is acting on this point. Okay, now let me change the color for your better understanding. Then this must be, then here we can see this must be acceleration, and we can observe that this must be, sometimes it do not respond as I wanted, and it must be acceleration which is alpha r. Okay, now the acceleration and alpha r must be equal. I am talking about this translational acceleration due to rotational, of course. Okay, then the acceleration is equals to alpha r. Now let us make the equation again. What are the equations? Friction minus friction, force minus friction is nothing but it is equals to mass. I am assuming that it has small mass m, okay, which is mentioned, of course, 5 kg. So let me put it 5 a, okay, and let me choose different color. Friction is equals to or you are not gonna understand like that. Just let me put now torque. Now let us talk about torque. What is torque? Torque is nothing but it is being I alpha. Okay, now what is torque due to? Now if I am talking about this axis of rotation, then the torque is nothing but it is going to be radius r, then net torque. If I am talking about this net torque, then basically there are two methods to explain this, but I'm gonna talk with two methods. I'm gonna explain with both of methods. Okay, so just give me a sec to just copy this slide, so that in next part I can basically paste it. Okay, now the net torque is nothing but it is what is friction r. What is the direction of this torque? The direction of this torque, as you can see, r cross f. Then the direction is going to be, do it by yourself, use the right hand thumb rule to get the direction correctly. R cross f, it will gonna give the direction which is in the minus k cap. Okay, then plus I'm talking about net torque. As you can see, if I'm talking about this, it is being the r, then the r cross f, if I'm gonna do this, then it is also gonna provide plus k cap, oh sorry, minus k cap. It is also gonna provide minus k cap, which has the total value f plus f into r. Okay, so this is being the torque that I was talking about. Just give me a little time to just adjust it to somewhere. Okay, this is being the thing which I was talking about. So this is being the net torque, and in accordance of it the torque is going to be uh, f plus fr. And what is the moment of inertia of this hollow cylinder? If it is rotating about this axis, then the moment of inertia is going to be mr square, because it is acting like hollow cylinder. It is basically a hollow cylinder, so it has moment of inertia mr square about the axis of rotation. If I am assuming this is being the axis of rotation and this is being the axis of rotation, there is no doubt in it. And alpha acceleration upon r. So from where I have put from here. Okay, r2 are gonna cancel out. Then the friction plus f is nothing but it is going to be ma. Which is mass, which is 5a. Okay, and I'm gonna put right here. Then we have full. Just give me a sec. Just gonna erase some unnecessary part. Okay, so it was necessary, I have mentioned it somewhere else. Basically I have copied the slide and mentioned there. Okay, so you can basically check. Now let us talk about this. Now let us talk about this. Okay, there is a one more arrow that I need to remove. Okay, I have to remove it manually. Okay, okay, that's done. Okay, now friction plus F is equals to nothing but it is 5a. After adding both of them, friction and friction is gonna cancel out. 2F is equals to 10a, and and the acceleration, and we got F upon 5 alpha upon r. I have put it directly, acceleration is also by using this relation. And after solving this, what is force F? What is the force F? Force F is nothing but it is 40 upon 5, and radius is being it is just gonna cross multiply. The radius is being zero point 0.5, as we can see from above. Then it is 0.1, and the uh, alpha, then the alpha is going to be 4 radian per second. uh, just give me a sec. Did I done something wrong? Let me check from right here. We can use this relation as well to get the answer. Acceleration, force is equal to mass into acceleration. 40 upon mass is 5. That is acceleration 0.5. Sorry. I have put it directly right here. I have put it directly right here. Acceleration, just give me a sec. Acceleration, alpha into r, and from here we are going to observe 40 upon 5, 40 upon 5. Radius is also 0.5. Okay, and then it is alpha. Now the answer is 5 to 5 gonna cancel out 8, and it is written as 1 by 2, 8 upon 1 by 2. Then alpha is going to be 16. Another method, which I was talking about. What is that another method? Another method is being very simple. Okay, now what is that another method? In this method, there is no requirement of there is no requirement of just in another method, there is no requirement of doing anything. You will gonna get answer from just by putting this equation. What? By putting this equation. Acceleration is nothing but acceleration can be written as force is equals to mass into acceleration, and force is mentioned to be 40, mass is mentioned to be 5. 40 upon 5, alpha is nothing but we have to find out alpha, and it is 0.5. Then alpha is nothing but it is going to 16 radian per second. Okay, so 16 radian per second square is our answer, and it can be solved by this method as well. Okay, now let us talk about another question on rolling motion. The rolling bodies are ring, are disc, a solid cylinder, a solid sphere of same mass and radius are allowed to roll down without slipping simultaneously from the to roll down without slipping simultaneously from the top of an inclined plane. There is something that is uh, mentioned again. From the top, there is a thing without slipping from the top of inclined plane, or to roll down without slipping simultaneously. Okay, there is a something, yeah, this is mentioned right here. Okay, so just let me raise it. Okay, now from the top of the inclined plane, the body which will reach first the bottom of the inclined plane. So to solve this, it is being very simple. First of all, how we know the acceleration formula: g sine theta upon 1 plus k square upon r square, 1 plus k square upon r square, 1 plus k square upon r square. K's are for both of bodies like ring and hollow cylinder If I'm gonna put this in this formula, then the acceleration is going to be g. There is one more thing that I want to mention about. What is this? If somehow this value, which value? If somehow this value, I'm talking about, just give me a sec. I'm talking about this particular value. I'm talking about 1 plus k square upon r square. I'm talking this specific value. If it is going to be lesser, if it is going to be lesser, then then if it is going to be lesser, what happened? Then body will gonna reach first. Will gonna reach first. Okay. So about this, if I'm talking about, when we can observe there is a less value, when the k value when the k value is less, or when the k value is high. When the k value is less, we can observe that there is a this value is going to be, this whole value is going to be lesser. Okay. So when the k is less, when the ring and the hollow cylinder are present. Okay. So ring is going to be the option. Ring is going to be the answer for this. A ring is going to be the answer for this. Okay. And most of you fall down for this trick. Which trick? The full and final answer, I am hoping that it is visible. The full and final answer is not going to be ring. Why? Because if I am talking about lesser k value, then the lesser k value may be observed of. Then the lesser k value, first of all, what are the k possible values we have? It is r upon root 2, basically 1 upon root 2 r. Okay. What is 1 upon root 2? What is 1 upon root 2? It is nothing but it is a 0.707. We know about it. Okay. If I am talking about k, which is equals to under root 2 upon 3 r, then what it has value? Under root 2 upon 3 r. Let me use a calculator. For you have to do calculation, of course, but as I am being teacher, I can use calculator. Just give me a time, give me a sec. Okay. Under root 2 and there is a thing which I want to mention, of course. Means for preparing, you are preparing for an examination, and you are gonna solve the so many things with just the proper memory based part that you have. Proper memory based, or can be said as proper brain. You need to use hard calculations, and you have to be used to it. And it has value 0.8164. Okay. And if I am talking about k, which is also under root 2 upon 5 r, then 2 divided by 5, 0.4, it has the lesser value. Which is equals to 0.6324. Then what I'm trying to convey right now, that you don't have to use the calculator for preparation of your J Mains examination and for J Advanced as well, because there is a thing that they are testing your calculation capabilities. Okay. So don't use calculator while calculating this kind of a problems. This is my personal recommendation. Then if this is being the k, this is the smallest k that we have. This is the smallest k that we have. Then for what we have observed the value of under root upon 2 upon 5 r. We have observed for solid sphere. This is the lesser value for solid sphere. Then fourth option is going to be right. A solid sphere of mass of same mass m and solid sphere is going to be your answer. Okay. Now let us move to the different question. A ring rolls down an inclined plane of inclination theta. What is the acceleration as the ring reaches the ground? G sine theta upon 1 plus 1, which is 2, 1 plus r square, I have to mention it correctly, r square upon r square. Then acceleration is going to be g sine theta upon 2. So now let's talk about a question. This is being the challenge question and basically expected question as well. A rigid body of mass 10 kg and radius 2 meters starts from rest, okay, and perform pure rolling down an inclined plane. Basically, it is performing pure rolling motion during motion with inclined plane. Okay, pure rolling motion. It is performing like that. Now, what are the things that is mentioned to us? Let me write over here. Okay, mass is equals to 10 kg. Mass is equals to 10 kg, which is given. Radius of the rolling body, which is given as 2 meter. Angle of inclination, which is of phi, it is given as 30 degree. And more other things are also mentioned. It is being the pure rolling motion, pure rolling motion, pure rolling motion, as we can see. Another things, just pure rolling motion. The body starts from a vertical height of 20 meter. Body starts from vertical height. Here we have height, which is 20 meter. And the final velocity when it reaches the bottom of the ground is mentioned as 20 upon root 2 meter per second. Meter per second. Okay, this is the thing that are mentioned, that is mentioned to us. Okay, now let us talk about, upon reaching the base, the body transitions to a horizontal surface. Let us make the diagram as well. Here we have a inclined surface, as we are able to see. Okay, here we have inclined surface, and there is an angle, which is this angle is mentioned as 30 degree to us. Okay, and here we have height of this in height, vertical height, which is mentioned to us like 20 meter, 20 meter, which I have mentioned right here as well. Okay, and here we have a body. Here we have a body which is performing a rolling motion basically. Okay, and when this body reaches this point, then it attains some velocity, which is which is which is 20 upon root 2. Okay, this is the thing that is first of all mentioned to us, and afterwards when this body uh, collide with this, when this body collides with this horizontal surface, its velocity, the body velocity direction shifted to horizontal, shifted to in a horizontal motion. Okay, velocity, and it has velocity 20 upon root 2. This is the thing that is mentioned to us. Okay, assume that this transition is an elastic collision such that there is no loss in the magnitude of velocity and the final direction is purely horizontal. The coefficient of friction for the horizontal surface is mu is equals to 0.3, which I has already said. Okay, and the friction for this horizontal surface is mentioned as 0.3. Not friction, it is the coefficient of friction which is mentioned to us. It is 0.3. Okay, so what are the things? That we need to solve? The net velocity of the center of mass, sorry for the disturbance, the net velocity of the center of mass after the body has traveled an additional 5 meter of on the horizontal surface. Okay, and the another thing, the acceleration of the body during its motion on inclined surface. First of all, let us talk about the net velocity of the center of mass after the body has traveled an additional 5 meter of the horizontal surface. Okay, when this body is basically performing, when this body is going like this, then it must achieve some final velocity, and it is asked to us that if we have a body, then what is the velocity which which it center of mass have. Okay, then we have to solve it. We have to solve it with the with kinematics equation, or can be said as with the work done or energy conservation. There are multiple ways to solve it. Okay, I'm going with kinematics. Okay, so what is the formula for the kinematics? V is equals to v v square v final to the square basically, just give me a time. Kinematics, uh it should be it should be written like v just. Okay, v square minus v square is equal to u square plus 2 a s. Okay, and there is a dot between them. Now what is the acceleration? Now what is the acceleration of the body that we have? Okay, the acceleration of the body is nothing but it is the force upon mass. What is the force acting on this body right now when it is performing horizontal motion? What is the force acting on this body? I'm changing the color. There is a force acting on this body, and it is nothing but it is friction. It is friction which has direction like this. Okay, and what is the value of this friction? Friction has a value. I am solving right here. Friction has a value which is equals to mu into normal direction. And what is the mu that is mentioned to us? It is 0.3. What is the normal direction? What is the mass mentioned right above here? 10 kg. Then, as we know, there is a normalization component like this. Just give me a sec. Why it is not? Okay. That is done. It is normalization, and we have another thing that is mg. Okay, they must be present in equilibrium. So I can state that in accordance of it, normal direction must be equals to mg for horizontal surface. I am hoping that you are getting my points. Okay. Now, what is the mass of the body? If there is nothing mentioned about gravity, then we are gonna take 10 for easy calculation purpose. Then the normalization is nothing but it is 100. Okay, and and it is going to be 30. Okay, the friction has the value which is equals to 30. And if we know about the force, if we know about the force, then we got the value of acceleration as well. What is the value of this friction? It is 30 upon what is the mass? What is the mass of the body? It is being 10. Okay, they both are cancelled out. Then we have the value which is equals to 3. Okay, now let us talk about something. Okay, now we have acceleration like this. We found out the acceleration, and the acceleration is having the constant value which is 3 meter upon second square. Okay, now let us talk about what is the final velocity. What will be the final velocity attained by this body? Then it is nothing but initial velocity to square, initial velocity to the square. What is the initial velocity? 20 upon root 2 to the square plus 2. What is the acceleration that we have? 3. And it has displaced through 5 meter. It is mentioned that it has displaced through 5 meter. Okay, then but we have the velocity. We are having the velocity v square, which is actually 400 upon 2 plus acceleration was 3 5. Okay, then it is 200 plus 15. Then the v is nothing but it is under root 215. Okay, my personal tip for this kind of a question, take the value of gravity. Take the value of gravity as 9.8 meter per second square. Why? Why? Because there is no option mentioned. There is no option mentioned regarding it, and you have to report in approximate value, in properly calculated, calculated approximated value. Okay, approximated value. Sir, why did you solve with the gravity as a 10 meter per second joule? Because um, basically I am explaining the things right now and I don't want the calculation to be very much harder. If we do the calculation, then the concept is gonna miss. Okay, that's why I done this. Okay, now let us talk about first part has been done. The net velocity. The net velocity, which center may have final velocity. It is nothing but it is going to be under root 215. 215. Okay. Now let us talk about the different part. What is that? Okay. We have a acceleration now. What do we have to solve for? We have to solve for acceleration. It was the scenario we have. It was the scenario we have. We have a plank. Okay. And angle is given as 30 degree. Our body is rolling with some acceleration. We have to solve for this. Okay. We have to solve for this. Just give me a sec. Okay. Just give me a little time so that I'll remember these things. Okay. So it is nothing but g sine theta upon 1 plus k square upon r square, k square upon r square. That is the formula that we know about. Okay. Now, now for this formula, what is the value of g that we are going to take? You should take 9.8, but for the easy calculation purpose, I am taking it as 10. Okay. 1 plus k square. Sir, what kind of a body we have? There is nothing mentioned about the moment of inertia. As you can see, there is nothing mentioned about the moment of inertia. Okay. So we have to solve it for moment of inertia, right? What is the moment of inertia we have right now? To find the moment of inertia, there is a hint basically given to us. What kind of a hint is given to us? It has velocity. 20 upon root 2, which is the velocity when it reaches the point B from point A, and we know the velocity at point B. We have solved it for, we have seen the value for it. If there is any kind of a height mentioned to us, if there is any height mentioned to us, which is assumed to be h, then the formula for it 2gh upon 1 plus k square, 1 plus k square upon r square. Okay, this is the formula that we know. Just give me a time. Okay, this is the thing that we know. If we equate both of them, then 20 upon root 2 and under root 2gh. 2gh. What is the value of gravity? We are taking 10. You should take 9.8. And what is the height value? 20 upon 1 plus k square upon r square. Okay. This is the thing that is written as 20. As you can see, this is 400 and it will gonna produce 20 as the value upon 1 plus k square upon 1 plus k square upon r square and under root 2 this whole thing. Under root 2 this whole thing. Okay. 20 to 20 got gonna cancel out, and after equating both of them, k is going to be r. Means the body can be ring and can be hollow cylinder and can be hollow cylinder. Okay. I am assuming that you are getting my point. Okay. Then we know the value 1 r square upon r square. Then the acceleration is going to be 5 upon 2. It is written as 1 by 2. It is going to cancel out and will produce the value 5 and upon 2. There we have upon 2. Then it is going to be 2.5. It is going to be 2.5. Okay. This is the value of acceleration that we are having. 2.5 meter per second square. This is the value of acceleration that we are having, 2.5 meter per second square. Now, if I'm talking about the point 3, then the point 3 is being your homework. Solve it for the next class. Okay. When we are meeting, I'm gonna check this homework and gonna solve it and gonna solve it as well. Okay. Now the another point that is asked to us, that the velocity after 5 meters of traveling on horizontal surface of exactly horizontal points separated by distance 1 meter, the resultant velocity of all of them. Means what he is trying to ask basically, if we have a body like this, okay, then and it has radius 2 meter. This is the specific thing that is mentioned to us. Okay, then what is the velocity of all points that is asked to do us. Okay, so for that what is the velocity? For this there is a requirement of to solve this part has been homework. Okay, so this is not being your homework. I'm gonna solve it right now. Okay, I'm gonna solve it now. Just now let us move to the this part. I'm going to solve it right now. Just give me a 10. To solve the value of omega naught, to solve the value of omega naught, we can use different things. Like, first of all, we have omega final square is equals to omega naught square plus 2 alpha theta. Okay, this is the thing that we have. Okay, okay. If we have any body like this, uh, if we have body like this, then what is the alpha for this? What is the alpha for this? As we can see, there was a friction present right here. Okay, there was a friction which was present right here, and due to friction there was the acceleration which we have find out, and it has the value 3. Okay, and the acceleration is nothing but it is equals to alpha r. Okay, tangential acceleration is nothing but it is equals to alpha r, and after solving this, the alpha value will have 3 upon what is the radius of this. Radius is nothing but it is 2. Okay, then this is the value of alpha that we got. Okay, what is the omega naught that we are having? What was the omega naught that we were having? So uh, to find the omega naught that this body may have, what we have to do, what we have to do uh, as we know, when this was moving on this, when this was moving on this inclined surface, then after reaching this point B, it has the velocity in this direction, and it was equals to 20 upon root 2. Okay, and this was the pure rolling motion. Here we have here we were observing that it is being the pure rolling motion, right? If it is pure rolling motion, if it is pure rolling motion, that means what we can assume, we can say that V is nothing but it is equals to omega r. What is this V? V is center of mass and it is equals to omega r. Now, what was the omega value that we can expect from this? 20 upon root 2 into r, or 20 upon root 2 upon r, which is 2. Then it is nothing but it is 10 upon root 2. This is the value which we can expect from this thing, and it is equals to omega. It is equals to omega. We know the omega naught right now. Okay, so let us put in this equation 20 upon 10 upon root 2, 10 upon root 2 the square plus 2 alpha. What is the alpha? 3 upon 2. Now sir, what is the theta? What is the theta that we are having? Okay, so the theta is nothing but theta is the angular displacement. Theta is the angular displacement. To find this, we have to know that how much it is traveled. Okay, how much angle basically it has been rotated since it it turned it turns to the it turns to the uh it turns into the horizontal motion. And as well as there might be a doubt, sir, why we have considered the omega naught value for of this, because there was a specific thing that was mentioned somehow after collision. It is being the pure elastic collision, and for this instant when this body is like present, like here the omega value must not change for this particular instant. Like this must be happened less than the scenario like they're observing, this must have happened in less than 0.1 second, or basically can be said as is equals to point five second. This must be happened in this scenario, and for that instant we can consider that this the then we can consider the omega value, the omega value which body was having, it must be have like present like here as well. Okay. So now what is the theta? What is the angular displacement? For this, for the angular displacement calculation, I am moving to the different slide. Okay. To find what is the angular displacement, there are multiple ways. First of all, we can use it by the calculation as well. What is that? Omega naught t plus half alpha t square to find out the theta. Okay. To find out the theta. Sir, what is the time that is taken to uh there is what was the time that was taken to 5 meter, that was taken to reach the 5 meter distance. So we can find it out how s is equals to ut plus half a t square. Sir, but this is the equation for translational motion. Yes, for the translational motion, for the translational motion, I am saying about like this. If the body is performing translational motion, then uh, if it is started from point A and it is reached to point B, if it is started from point A and it is reached to point B, then the time taken for this body for both for both rotation motion as well as for translation motion must be same. Okay, so I can consider this value as well. So what is the displacement that we have observed? It is 5. What is the initial velocity? 20 upon root 2. Okay, t plus half. What was the acceleration? It was 3. Uh, just give me a sec. I have done something wrong. Shit. I have done something wrong right here. It must have the value 185. 185. Okay. Okay. S is equals to UD plus half AD square. It must be minus. It must be minus right here. Minus half 3 t to the square. Okay. After solving this equation, we are gonna get the value that we were expecting from this. And what is that value? 5, which is equals to 20 upon root 2 can be written as 20 upon root 2 can be written as 10 root 2 t minus 3 by 2 t square. After solving this quadratic, we are gonna get the time. Okay. And this is being too much lengthy. Okay. What is the time that we are gonna get? 3 upon 2 or can be written as uh 3t square 3t square minus 20 root 2 t minus 20 root 2 t plus 5 is equals to 0. Okay. uh, b is equals to b square minus 4ac, b square minus 4ac. What is the b that we are having? 20 upon 20 root 2 to the square minus 4. What is the a? It is 3 into c. It is being 5. Okay. Then it is equals to 400 800 minus 12 into 560. Then it is 740. Then it is 740 d. Okay. Then the value which we are having 740 under root, it is being d, and because of this we can have the value of time which is equals to minus b plus minus under root d upon 2a. Okay. What is minus b? Minus b is nothing but b is 20 minus 20 root 2 plus minus under root 740 upon 2 a. What is the value of a? It has the value like 3. Okay. After solving this 20 root 2 plus minus, what is the under root 740? Where it is near around basically 25 to the square. Just let me calculate it by using calculator. Okay. So how we are gonna solve it? That is up to you. I don't know as well. Okay. Basically, you need to solve it from anyhow. Under root 740. It is nothing but it is almost around 27.2. 27.2 upon 6. Okay. Now after solving this, what is the value of time that we can observe? What is the value of time that we may observe. Okay, 20 into, just give me a time, 20 into 1.414, it is equals to 28.28. It has a value like 28.28 plus minus 28.28. 28.2 can be written as 28.2 can be written as 28.2 plus minus 27.2 upon 6. Okay. After solving this, we may get two values of time. What are those time? First of all, the time value is 1. If we are gonna solve it by plus sign, then if we are gonna solve it by plus sign, then it is nothing but, oh, okay, it is too much lengthy right now, but okay, what we can do, we have to solve it. 55, 55.2, 55.2 upon 6. Okay, this is the first time that we have calculated, and the another time that we are gonna observe, it is 1 upon 6. Okay, I'm gonna solve it with 1 upon 6. You are gonna solve it with this. Okay, I want the answer by this as well. I'm gonna solve it by taking 1 by 6. Okay, I'm hoping that you are getting my point. The calculation is for you, not for me. Now, what is the formula that we have written above there? Theta is nothing but, theta is nothing but, it is omega naught t plus half alpha t square. Now, what is the omega naught? What was the omega naught? Omega naught was okay. It is getting too much calculative. Omega naught was 10 upon root 2. 10 upon root 2. Time is 1 by 6. Time is 1 by 6. Time is 1 by 6 plus half alpha. What is the value of alpha? Alpha is the value like 3 upon 2. 3 upon 2 in minus direction as well. I always forget that it is in the minus direction. Minus 3 upon 2. Okay. T square 1 upon 6 to the square. This is being the theta. I should have mentioned right here as well that the alpha is negative. Okay. For the, okay. Now, what we are having right now, we are having very calculative part. 10 upon root 2. Let me take 1 upon 6 common. Then it is nothing but 10 upon root 2 minus 3 upon 2 into 1 upon 6. This is cancel out. Okay. 1 upon 6, 10 upon root 2 minus 1 upon 4. And here we are having this value. Okay. This is too much. Okay. This is the theta that we are having. After putting in this equation, we are gonna get omega. Okay. Okay, that is too much calculative. What is the theta? This is the theta, and after putting in this equation, I'm hoping that you are getting my point. This theta input omega final to the square, omega naught to the square, but which is what is omega naught? 10 upon root 2 to the square minus 2 alpha. Alpha is 3 upon 2, and the theta is like this: 1 upon 6, 10 root 2 minus 1 upon 4. After solving this, we are gonna get omega final. Okay, in under root. This is the thing that you have to solve. Now for the other thing. Now for the another thing that is present right here. Okay, fourth option is totally being your homework. I'm gonna explain it later. Okay, this is now being the proper question like J advance. Not to be said of, but yes, this is the J advance level question. Okay, thank you for taking class. Bye. Okay.